Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the things we love to do most. Our vacations, those concerts we can't wait for, our weekend adventures. We're taking a journey right into the heart of the business of fun itself, commercial recreation.
So, let's just dive right in. Seriously, think about it for a second. What goes into your perfect getaway? Is it the adrenaline rush of a theme park? Maybe the total peace and quiet of a scenic resort? Or is it the incredible energy of a live music festival? We've all got that perfect experience in our heads, right? The one we spend weeks, sometimes even months, dreaming about and planning.
Well, here's something you might not realize. Every single one of those experiences, it follows a 5-step journey. And it all starts with anticipation. That's the planning phase, the daydreaming, the excitement that just keeps building. That's actually where we are right now. We're going to use this 5-step map for our whole explainer to really see how this industry is built around every single part of your trip.
So what is this thing we're actually talking about? The official term is commercial recreation. And the most important part of that definition, the real key to understanding all of this, is the end, with the long-term intent of being profitable. This isn't just about fun and games as a public service. Nope. This is a massive, massive industry designed from the ground up to be a business.
And this is tied directly to another huge idea: tourism. That's really just a fancy word for traveling somewhere that's not your normal stomping grounds. So when you have a ski resort, that's the commercial recreation part, and it needs people to travel from all over the country to visit, well, that's tourism. The two work hand in hand all the time to create these experiences we're all looking for.
All right, so we've set the stage. Let's move on to the next steps of our journey, the actual travel and the on-site participation. This is where all starts to happen. So, who are the big players making it all work? Who are the real architects behind your adventure?
First up, you've got the movers. You can just call them the travel industry. Their entire job, their whole reason for being, is to get you from your home to your destination. We're talking about the obvious ones, of course, like airlines and cruise ships, but it's also that huge web of rental car agencies, buses, and trains. They are the absolute logistical backbone of any trip. Okay, so you've arrived. Now you need a place to crash, to eat, and to recharge for the next day's adventure. That's where the hospitality industry comes in. And yeah, we think of the giant hotel chains, but this is also everything from that cozy little bed and breakfast down the street to the fancy resort restaurant with that amazing view. They're not just giving you a room, they're creating the whole atmosphere for your stay.
And finally, you get to the main event, the local commercial recreation industry. This is it. This is the reason you took the trip in the first place. It's the theme park ticket, the guided tour of the city, the surfing lesson, even the silly t-shirt you buy at the gift shop on your way out. This is the absolute core of the experience, the fun part in the business of fun.
But, this brings up a really good question. Why is your neighborhood park completely free, but a ticket to a theme park can cost a small fortune? This gets us to the central tension in this whole world, the constant pull between profit and the public good. Let's break down the rules of this game.
Here is the fundamental difference. It's like they have completely different DNA. On one side, you have public recreation. Think city parks, national forests. That stuff is rooted in the idea of social welfare, the belief that everyone deserves access to open space. But on the other side, you have private recreation, and it's born from something totally different, pure consumer desire and what you, the customer, are willing to pay for.
And that difference in philosophy, it leads to a huge difference in how they operate. Public recreation is paid for by our tax dollars, right? So it has to focus on serving the entire community. Private recreation, though, that's funded by investors and by the price of your ticket. That means it can, and honestly it must, focus on whatever specific slice of the market it wants to attract, whether that's super luxury travelers or college kids on a budget.
Okay, so we've got our big three industries: travel, hospitality, and local rec. But that is not the whole story, not even close. There's this massive, often invisible support system that's working behind the scenes to make sure the whole thing runs like a well-oiled machine. We call these businesses the facilitators. Now, these are the folks who don't usually serve you directly, but they are absolutely essential.
Think about the companies that actually make the skis and snowboards, or the marketing agencies creating those slick ads you see online, or even the software companies that build the reservation systems you use to book everything. They're the gears that keep the whole machine turning.
And here's a player you might not expect to see in the mix: the government. They do more than just run the public parks. They forge what are called complementary relationships, like they'll build a new highway to make it easier to get to a new resort. They also help create cooperative arrangements, getting a whole region to work together on marketing. And they're involved in long-term planning, trying to make sure tourism grows in a way that's good for everybody.
So with an industry this gigantic, how does it stay fresh? How does it innovate? Well, one of the key answers is a special kind of person called an entrepreneur. Now, this isn't an entrepreneur who starts a new company from scratch. No, this is someone inside a big existing company who takes it upon themselves to champion a new idea. It could be a hotel manager who comes up with a whole new guest experience, or a theme park engineer who dreams up the next big ride. They're the ones pushing for change from the inside out.
All right, let's bring it all home. We've journeyed through the entire structure of this incredible industry. Now let's look back at our own 5-step journey and think a little bit about what the future might hold. Remember this map? We started all the way back at anticipation, and we have traveled through the entire system. And now we've landed on the final and maybe the most important step of all: reflection. This is the part where the experience stops being a thing you're doing and it turns into a memory. And engineering that perfect, lasting memory, that, right there, is the ultimate goal of this entire multi-billion-dollar industry.
So what's next? Well, this is not an industry that just sits around and waits to see what you want to do. It is actively, constantly trying to predict it. They analyze everything, from huge economic trends down to, yes, your online search history, to figure out what the next hot destination or must-do activity is going to be. They're sometimes planning years in advance for just one season.
So, there you have it. We've basically just handed you the blueprint, the owner's manual, for the entire business of fun. You've seen the players, you've seen the rules, and you've seen the hidden systems that shape every getaway you take. So, now that you know how it all really works, how's that going to change the way you plan your next adventure?